If you've experienced narcissistic abuse, you have gone through one of the most horrifying and debilitating experiences in the world ever, hands down. So, on this channel, Narcissistic Nightmare, I'm trying to give you encouragement, inspiration, and education about what happened to you, what you overlooked, and how not to get enmeshed in one of these stories anymore. I want to tell you that there's a very specific cycle that these narcissists follow. It's called love bombing, devaluation, and discard. But people sometimes ask, and they're like, I don't understand. It was so overwhelming. That's the love bombing stage. But they tell you that you're their soulmate and you're the best thing that ever happened to them. They've never met anyone like you. And it seems so real. It seems so genuine and so authentic. One of the things about narcissists is you have to remember one of the symptoms of narcissistic personality disorder is fantasies of unlimited success, power, or ideal love. So they have a fantasy version of their mate, of their significant other person. And in the love bombing cycle, when they first meet you, they project their delusional, over the top, ridiculous fantasy upon you. And many of the qualities, many of the things they said about you were true, in fact. And when two ordinary, healthy people meet, there's a certain amount of limerence, per se, or a certain amount of idealization. Love hormones such as oxytocin kick in, and you see that person through the most ideal eyes. It's called the honeymoon phase. But a normal, healthy person after the honeymoon phase goes down to an ability to a level in which you're still capable of having and carrying on a relationship. In other words, you weren't that deceived, you weren't that delusional. You actually saw and knew that this person is a human being. So you come down to almost what you could call a steady state, a state of stasis, a place where a relationship will work. But not so with a narcissist, because when you, as a healthy person, when you entered this relationship with them, you had some core content within you. You had some core things about your character, about your mental character, about your mental stability, about your emotional state, about your sense of self. You felt secure about yourself. You felt confident about yourself. You knew what you brought to the table, right? So when that love bond, that initial euphoria wears off, you come to a place where you can maintain a steady state. That doesn't exist for the narcissist. There is no steady state because they didn't begin with the same core content that you possess. They don't have the same core content that you have. They don't have the same sense of inner validation and inner stability that you have. So when they come down off the honeymoon phase, they don't just go down to a steady state or a stability state. They go down into the state that they started with before they met you, which is a state of utter bankruptcy. When you wear off, when your newness wears off, when the newness of something and someone new wears off, when you show the symptoms of actually being human, they don't just see you as a human anymore. You've lost the objectified reason they ever started a relationship with you in the first place, because they started a relationship with you for an objective. Narcissists do not personify people. They don't have personal relationships because they don't have the personality to have a personal relationship. They never show people their authentic self. They show people their image. They show people who they want to pretend to be. But they don't show you the utter weakness, the utter feelings of insecurity and vulnerability and worthlessness and shame that they always feel. But once they get close to you and once it gets real, you see them. You see the authentic them, and that terrifies them. When the narcissistic mask slips, and you see the narcissist for who they really are. So you're not afraid. If the empathic individual is not afraid for the narcissist to see them for whom they really are, because that's who you brought to the equation. You brought your authentic self. They didn't bring their authentic self. You brought your authentic self, and then they love bombed you and treated you in this grandiose way, which is fairly accurate of you. But the only reason why they were on as good a behavior as they were is because they thought they met their soulmate. They thought they met the man or woman of their dreams. They thought they ran into their delusional fantasy, because they actually fantasize that there will be some person come into their life that will make all of the horrible things they've been through go away, and that person will fix them. And they do not operate with a character that says, if I need fixed, I need to work on me, because they don't take responsibility and they don't take accountability. So they never work on themselves. If they do any kind of self-reflection, any type of self-work, it is on the most minimal level, because they really don't think that they have a problem. They think that you're the problem. So what was it? What was it during the love bombing phase? It was their delusional fantasy that they projected upon you. Just remember, when something, or if something or someone seems too good to be true, it probably is. Flattery is a huge part of the narcissistic toolkit. It's not that the things they said about you weren't true. It's not that you're not a kind, caring, loving individual who deserves and is worthy of a close, intimate, interpersonal relationship. But the narcissist can't have closeness. They cannot stand closeness. The greatest closeness you'll ever have with them, that you feel that you have, but you don't have it because it's not authentic, was at the beginning, when they were open, when they found their prince or princess charming. That's as close as you will ever feel like you were. But because it wasn't based on reality, it wasn't really closeness. It was just the best part of their show that they would ever put on. And the painful and really debilitating thing that you're experiencing now, if you're coming out of a narcissistic relationship, is that you don't know who you are anymore. You don't know if you are who they said you were. But you know what? You are who they said you were, but so much more, because of the fact that they tried to just make you a role, just fit you into and form you into a role in their play of personal grandiosity. The fact that they tried to form you into that specific set of rules and regulations by which you must operate, but rules for thee, but not rules for me. Because they tried to do that, they overlooked all of the awesome, incredible, and great things about you. And their actual, what they wanted you to be, whom they wanted you to be, was actually so much less than whom you really are. Just remember who you were. You let the memory of who you are come back to you as you heal and recover from this narcissist nightmare. Because not only are you who they said you are so much more and so much better. Peace and love. Amen.